John Meara was trying too hard on the brakes. At the end of race 3, where would you like to see yourself?
Safe.
Mackerel and Jason Meara are going at absolutely hammer and tongs now, nearly touching over that tabletop.
Hello and welcome back to part 2 of the round 2 National Irish Motocross Championship review by B4MX. We had some fantastic action racing yesterday, and today we've got a good one for you in the second MX1 race of the day between Jason Meara and James Mackerel, so keep an eye out for that. So without further ado, let's get straight into it now. This review of the National Irish Championship is brought to you by B4MX.com, the classified ads website for everything off-road.
And it's time for the first MX2 race of the day, grade A and B MX2. The riders are all lined up to the gate, and it was Dubliner Jake Sheridan having the championship lead and the red plate coming into round 2 after winning the overall in Vernon Mountain. He's lined up fourth from the inside and also set the fastest lap time today in qualifying, so we can see if he can continue on this performance into race 1 and be on the top step of the podium in about 20 minutes time. We'll wait for the 15-second board to go up and the gate drop to see who gets out to the early lead here for MX2 A and B race 1 in Tandragee for round 2 of the National Irish Championship. The green flag is raised and all the riders have their bikes started. Now time for the 15-second board. We'll wait for it to turn to 5 and for the gate to drop. Return to 5. Looks like Jake Sheridan with a good start. And it's Jake Sheridan coming up the inside, followed by James Doyle, back to Sam Calvin and James Mackerel. Jake Sheridan out with the early lead here. James Mackerel and James Doyle following third and fourth, and the Galvins from Cork and Dylan Steins. Our top 6 and David Robson there as well. And it's Jake Sheridan maintaining the early lead here from James Mackerel, and the two riders beginning to separate themselves from the pack already. I think that's David Galvin following in third. Dylan Steins and James Doyle, and Conor Mullan in the semi-expert class. And it's Jake Sheridan and James Mackerel riding in a league of their own here at the start of this expert MX2 race. Oh, can Mackerel get the move made here now? We'll see, can he pull it up along the inside? Can he get up along the inside of Jake Sheridan here? I think he can. The riders are charging hard down the hill. Oh, Jake Sheridan keeping his lead. And it's a drag race, KTM versus Yamaha. Oh, and just getting pinched off at the top of the hill. Following up then Dylan Steins, Conor Mullan, James Doyle. Jake Sheridan losing touch just a little bit now from James Mackerel. Still charging hard. We have a hard charging Jordon now coming from the back of the pack, trying to chase down Conor Mullan. Conor Mullan, of course, in the semi-expert class, keeping these experts behind him. Oh, just getting pinched out there as Joe goes by. James Mackerel then cruising in to take the checker flag in the MX2 race 1 win. And he's followed in then by Jake Sheridan in second. David Galvin then in third. Stu Loughlin then bringing it in at fourth on his Yamaha. Jordon coming in then for fifth, followed closely by Dylan Steins. He must have just made the move in the last lap there. Sixth. Conor Mullan then coming in 7th, beating the semi-expert. And then we have James Doyle then in 8th on his Honda. Strong performances throughout. But James Mackerel just a little bit too much for the rest of the field today. Alright, so we're catching up here with Conor Mullan. Conor, you're lead semi-expert MX2 rider there today, but you were up with the experts at the start, put in a good charge from the start of the race. How are you feeling?
Feeling good, yeah. The start I got a good jump out of the gate, but just got boxed out, in the first turn, so I had to pick my way through them. But no, feeling good, yeah.
Yeah, so you finished up, I think it was 7th overall in that first race there. Would you think you can pick up another couple of positions in race 2, or how are you feeling overall on that end?
Yeah, I'm feel fit, towards the end of the race, so maybe when the track gets rougher, I'll be able to mix it up there with the top 5.
Yeah, it was a very smooth track to start out there this morning, and talking to a couple of the other riders, they're saying it's a little bit greasy underneath. Are you finding the same trouble, or do you think there's traction out there?
Yeah, usually I come here, there's ruts in the corners and things like that, but there's not much to turn off in the turns, so it's pretty slippy, alright.
And tell me then, what are your plans for the day overall in the championship? Where would you like to see yourself come the end of today and in September?
Well, I'd like to be up at the front in the semi-expert class, and also get into the top 5 in the A's, overall. So
yeah, well, you're not too far off that at the moment. Maybe if you just kept the throttle on a little bit harder in a couple of places, you'll get it done there in race 1 today. Yeah. But look, we wish you the very best of luck for the rest of the race today, and thanks for talking to us.
No bother, thanks very much, cheers.
And a big thanks then to all those supporting Conor Mullan in his racing efforts this 2019 season.
So it's time for the second A&B MX1 race of the day, and the riders have already lined up. And it was James Mackerel ahead of a hard-charging John Meara in race 1, with Richard Bird following up in 3rd. There's a rider down on the start straight at the moment, so there might be a slight delay to the second race too. But we see who gets the good drop of the gate today, and can come around this turn first to take command of the overall for the day and get the win in race 2 in A&B MX1. So the green flag is up and the riders are ordered to start their engines. The 15-second board will be lifted, and when it turns to 5 the gate will drop. 15-second board is up. It's turned to 5. The revs are up. The gate is dropped. Oh, look at Richard Bird, and Richard Bird coming around the inside. Jim O'Neill, James Mackerel. Oh! And Richard Bird with the early lead from James Mackerel, Robert Hamilton, Jason Meara, John Meara, and Jordon McCaw. And it looks like Mackerel is coming around the outside of Bird. Oh, and he's got him. KTM 1, 2, 3, Kawasaki 4 and 5. Oh, and a thundering start again to this race 2 in MX1. And it's an absolute freight train of riders here off the start, with James Mackerel followed by Richard Bird, Robert Hamilton, and Jason Meara squeezing in tight beside him. Can he come up the inside? Oh, brother John following on. Jordon McCaw, Jim O'Neill. Oh, Mullan and Aidan McDonough there starting hard as well. Jordon Dunne followed up around the top 10. James Mackerel leaking out now over the first tabletop. Richard Bird, Jason Meara getting the job done on Robert Hamilton, followed by John, and John pushing hard now to get Hamilton as well. Oh, he's up the inside of Hamilton at the top of the hill. Oh, and John Meara getting the job done on Robert Hamilton now as well, but oh, he stops him up. John Meara back up the inside, hard on the power up, an absolute washboard of a surface, tearing up the straight there. See Jordon Dunne now after his horrible start in race 1, better this time, following up from Aidan McDonough and Stephen Mullally up ahead of him. The lead riders are beginning to stretch out now ever so slightly as James Mackerel coming ahead of Richard Bird, and brothers Jason and John Meara coming really hard, trying to get every ounce of power they can out of those Kawasaki's. Falling on from them is Robert Hamilton, Jordon McCaw there, Stephen Mullally, Aidan McDonough, Jordon Dunne now having got ahead of Jim O'Neill. Oh, I think Jim O'Neill, here comes Jim O'Neill now, he must have had a mistake on that lap. Charging so hard down this hill. James Mackerel now putting in smooth laps to keep that pole position lead at the head of the pack. Jason Meara now following in second, followed by Richard Bird and John Meara. Richard Bird losing the position on that lap then to Jason. Oh, and John Meara putting on the inside again. It's another drag race up the hill, but I think Richard will stay ahead in third. Oh, John Meara pushing hard there, trying to get past Richard Bird. Over that tabletop on the crest of the hill. Going down to this drop off. John may be forced to follow a little bit here. They're charging so hard down there. Oh, John Meara is down! John Meara was trying too hard on the brakes in that bottom corner, trying to get up the inside of Richard Bird. Lucky enough he's back going again, but I'm sure he'll be kicking himself for that. It's a real testament to the quality of the riders we have in this National Irish Championship. When you watch them getting on the brakes down into this bottom turn here, you can see how they're hard on the front and back brake, nearly clipping the fence post, sometimes even clipping the fence post. As Jason Meara now is trying to edge his way towards James Mackerel and try and put himself in a chance to win. Followed by Richard Bird and John Meara in fourth. Robert Hamilton then should be following along in fifth. And Jordan McCaw just trying to keep in touch with that lead group, but maybe losing the distance by a straight or so now. James Mackerel now. I think Jason Meara is catching him ever so slightly. Yeah, they're definitely closing in on each other here. We see, can Jason Meara do anything before the end of this race? Maybe time is a bit tight, only a few laps. Jason Meara is right on James Mackerel now, coming into the final chicane. It's wheel to wheel here, seeking Jason Meara put on a move. We'll follow them around the track. Nearly a grass track style section of the fast left hand sweeper. Into the fast right hand sweeper, then over the wave section. Oh, Jason Meara come up the inside. Oh, coming into traffic here now, making it a bit tough. But Jason is right on James Mackerel now. We might have something on down the bottom of this hill here if Jason Meara can keep in touch with James Mackerel and maybe get it up the inside. No, not close enough yet. A couple of back markers ahead. Will they hold up Mackerel a little bit? Oh, Jason Meara backing it in there. They're charging so hard here now, trying to make their way past these back markers. And again out into the fast sweeping left-hander up the start straight. Back marker in between now. I think Jason Meara got away with it there. Oh, Mackerel pushing so hard around that turn, trying to keep the lead. Bit of free track ahead of them now. We see, is this an opportunity for Mackerel to maybe pull, or for Jason Meara to get his head down and try and get back onto the back wheel again, put himself in that race winning position.
B4MX.com is a classified ads website for everything off-road, whether it's bikes, quads, gear, vehicles, parts or accessories. You can find them all here on the site. If you scroll online now, you can see a fantastic range of bikes from Clonmel Off-Road, Stephen Russell Motocross, HTM Motorcycles and CCM Racing. You can also place your own ad by creating an account and clicking place ad at the top right hand side of the screen. You can log in via your Google account. Click place ad in the top right hand side of the screen, fill out the categories as you would on other classified sites, and at the bottom, if you pick in your voucher code B4MX2019, you can place your ad for free now.
James Mackerel just ahead of Jason Meara now. They're coming to charge down this hill. Oh, Jason Meara just in touching distance of James Mackerel. getting absolutely hammered up that hill. It's like a real washboard up there, total wave section. And I think Jason Meara has done it. I think Jason Meara has gotten around James Mackerel in the top section of the track, but James Mackerel coming up the inside now again, takes the position back. Oh, can Jason get him in the next turn? This is a hard competition here between these two. Jason Meara having come from a long ways back to catch James Mackerel, who's around the outside now. They're pushing hard on the power down the finish straight. Jason Meara right on him now. Can he have another look along the outside here? Up to this wave section, maybe tuck it on the inside and see can he get him. Oh, total sweeper. Pushing so hard here now. Oh, Mackerel might be holding on. Mackerel and Jason Meara are going at absolutely hammer and tongs now, nearly touching over that tabletop as they both scrub to keep it low. They're throwing everything at each other here. Oh, Jason Meara up the inside at the top of the hill, takes the position from Mackerel. Can Mackerel come back on the inside here again? Jason keeping it in tight, Mackerel up the inside. Oh, nearly took the front wheel off Jason Meara there, couldn't get stopped up in time. Jason Meara stretching it out now up the hill, pushing as hard as he can to take the second race win. Oh, we'll try and keep an eye on it now on the top of the hill. Sorry for the camera, we can't zoom in. And I think Jason Meara has broken the back of James Mackerel here now. James Mackerel doesn't seem to be pushing back at him quite so hard at the moment. You see what it's like coming back down the hill. Yeah, Jason Meara stretching out a good lead in only a few turns here now. I wonder is James Mackerel having an issue. He's looking down at his right wrist, shaking his head a little bit. Oh, James Mackerel looking a bit defeated here now. He should try and regroup to see can he get the pass back on Jason Meara. But Jason Meara coming in here leading the second race. In front of an improving crowd. So they clapped their hands and James Mackerel just rolling now. Yeah, that was the finish. So it was Jason Meara from James Mackerel. Try and see is Richard Bird following on in third. Another John Meara and another team Norman Watt Kawasaki in fourth. Who's they got coming along here in fifth? Just have a look and see can we pan around and catch them. I think it's Robert Hamilton taking fifth position here as he makes his way through a few back markers. But an unbelievable race too there, with Jason Meara taking a win from James Mackerel and getting that pass made on the last lap. Wow, unbelievable stuff in the National Irish Motocross Championship. Right, so we're catching up with the other Meara brother here, Jason. Jason, your winner of race 2 after chasing down James Mackerel. A great strong race for you. How are you feeling after it?
Yeah, feeling quite good actually. I didn't feel like I had the best pace through the race, but it was steady and running consistent laps. So towards the end, he must have started the tire. He came towards me and put a bit of a charge on then with about 4 laps to go. Made the pass actually just before I went on the last lap, and then he got me back down one of the hills. So I was just trying to set him up and figure out where I was going to do him, and I seen the opening at the top of the hill and made it happen.
Yeah, we were keeping an eye on you there during the race, and it was good, clean, hard racing. I mean, you were brake checking each other on the top and the bottom of the hill and everywhere in between, but eventually you got the race win out of it anyway. How are you finding the track overall today? Are you happy enough going around on this circuit? Or?
Yeah, no, it's I usually like this track alright, but it's a bit different today. It's not like it normally is. The ground's very hard. Obviously they've let the grass grow on it over the winter and stuff and just left it, so this morning it was like a grass track, but it's starting to cut up quite good there now, so yeah, the racing's been good.
Yeah, definitely. So we're coming into race 3 in the day then, so what are your expectations? Put it number 1 again, of course.
Yeah, well, first of all I want to try to get a good start, make life a bit easier for myself, so yeah, hopefully by the end of the race we'll be up top or up front.
Well, it's been excellent racing, watching yourself and brother John race here today, Jason, so the best of luck in the final race and hopefully you can bring it home good and healthy.
Thank you very much.
And a big thanks then to all those who support John and Jason Meara's race efforts in this 2019 season.
So we're going to catch up here with Jordon Dunne again at round 2. Jordon, you hadn't much luck in Vernon Mount with a couple of failures, and it started off the same way today in race 1 with a poor start, but a better performance in race 2.
Yeah, so as I missed a lot of race time last year, I kind of have schoolboy errors happening to me, but trying not letting myself get down. But my qualifying went okay. We had a problem with the times, but it didn't really matter when it came to the first race. I got a decent jump. I think I was in top 5 and came into the first corner and the back just slid out on me, and she just kind of high-sided me, but I came back up, but I fell off then again, but I think we got up to 12th, which it's not too bad. It's not the best result, but Joe, I'll take it on the first race.
Yeah, I see you picking a very inside gate there compared to the Mearas who are on the very outside. Do you think there's an advantage being inside over outside?
Yeah, in the second race I tried to go in between inside and outside, but in the middle, but I think I'm going to revert back to the inside. I think it's the best gate pick if you do get a bad start. My starts aren't really there, my reaction time isn't really there, so I'm going to pick the inside gate this time around for a race 3, and hopefully we get a good start.
And what's the position you're looking for then in race 3? Where would you like to finish out today?
As well, I'm capable of the top 5, but anything really today. So I think once I do get a good start, I will be able to run with them, and that's the plan.
Well, you're here, you're healthy, you have nearly 5 races out of 6 done in the first 2 rounds, so we wish you the very best of luck in the final race today at Tandragee.
Cheers, thanks very much.
And a big thanks to all those supporting Jordon Dunne in his racing efforts in this 2019 season.
It's time now for the start of the second A&B MX2 race of the day. In race 1 it was James Mackerel ahead of Jake Sheridan, David Galvin and Matthew Loughlin in 4th. We'll see now when the 15-second war goes up and the gate drops who's going to take the command in race 2 here for A&B MX2. The green flag is up. The 15-second board is raised. It'll turn to 5. The revs are up. And the gate is down. It looks like Jake Sheridan with a good start again so far, coming up around the inside, but it's Jordan Keogh looping around the outside. And Jake Sheridan, Jordan Keogh, David Robson, James Mackerel, David Galvin. And Jack Galvin then in 6th. So Jake Sheridan now with the early lead here. Ahead of Jordan Keogh, David Robson, James Mackerel, David Galvin and Jack Galvin, Matthew Loughlin. Round out the top 6 or 7 there. Oh, dust becoming an issue here now as well, the first couple of turns for the back of the pack. We see here now as they come through the chicane, coming back out of the back section. It's Jake Sheridan ahead of Jordan Keogh. Oh, Jordan Keogh looking like he wants to make a move there but not quite able. David Robson now ahead of James Mackerel. Oh, Mackerel just streaming around the outside of David Robson there, tearing up the hill. Jake Sheridan now pushing hard, trying to get away from Jordan Keogh in 2nd, being followed up by James Mackerel in 3rd. These 3 are kind of separating themselves from the front of the pack here in lap 2. They're followed up then by David Galvin, David Robson, Matthew Loughlin pushes his way past Jack Galvin there, James Doyle as well. The lead 3 of Jake Sheridan, Jordan Keogh and James Mackerel are keeping their distance between them at the moment. Mackerel was nipping at the heels of Jordan Keogh but seems to have dropped off slightly here again as they come along the 3 tabletops. So it's Jake Sheridan and Jordan Keogh pushing out, James Mackerel coming along then. There's a bit of intent in Jordan Keogh there over that tabletop, the way he scrubbed it. Is he trying to go and get Jake Sheridan here and take over that lead position? On the hard charge up the hill, Jordan Keogh looking for the inside. So equally matched here in the Tandragee circuit. And this front 3 are really putting themselves in a league of their own now, with Jake Sheridan leading up the pack. And are really tight at the front. It could go any way if any of them put in enough of a charge. Oh, Jordan Keogh absolutely sending it out over that middle tabletop. And these 3 aren't even nothing on the table for each other to take. I think Keogh might be getting caught up a bit trying to defend from Mackerel but trying to put on Sheridan. And here we see Mackerel now holding down the power. It's Yamaha versus Kawasaki. And the Kawasaki just keep them at bay. Oh, James Mackerel slipping up the inside there of Jordan Keogh just around that turn at the top of the hill. And you see now he put his head down and charge for Jake Sheridan. What can Keogh do to retaliate? Sheridan maintaining that lead over Mackerel from Keogh now, and there's really nothing in it between the top 3. Maybe a second or 2 separating the whole lot of them together. James Mackerel Mackerel trying to pressure Jake Sheridan now as they come over the 3 tabletops up the hill. Oh, he's up the inside of here. Jumping a little bit extra into the corner, not able to get it done. Charge hard back down the hill now and see what they can do. Oh, Mackerel touching up the inside. Is he going to dive deep on Sheridan? He is, and he squeezes Sheridan out of the way. Oh, takes the position. Sheridan charging hard with a smooth line up the hill. Can he get him back? No, not quite. In 4th position then we have David Galvin following behind, followed by Matthew Loughlin in 5th. David Robson then in 6th. Jack Galvin in 7th. James Doyle in 8th. Hal Kelly in 9th. And your lead semi-expert rider then in Conor Mullan rounding out the top 10. James Mackerel now is beginning to stretch it out ever so slightly over Jake Sheridan, who could find himself falling into the clutches of Jordon if he doesn't watch out. But really these top 3 are so close. Only a small mistake could cost him the position. We have David Galvin then following on still in 4th, holding his position ahead of Matthew Loughlin on the number 4 Yamaha. In 5th. Following them then is David Robson on the number 21 KTM. And he's followed up by the other Cork brothers, Jack Galvin number 5 on that Yamaha there. James Doyle then following on. Hal Kelly. And Conor Mullan then the lead semi-expert rider rounding out the top 10. So James Mackerel then continuing on the lead. But John Joe has made his move on Jake Sheridan to take 2nd position from the opener. A bit of a battle brewing here then for the final lap between David Robson and James Doyle for 7th and 8th position. We'll see can Doyle and now Honda put up alongside Robson and maybe try and make a move. KTM mounted Robson just ahead of Doyle here. Doyle with the head down trying to avoid that roost along the finish straight. Ahead of Hal Kelly. See now, can Doyle try anything along the wave section here to take that 7th position from David Robson. Doyle closing in there, but not able to get close enough on Robson to make a move. It's the Yamaha mounted James Mackerel then is going to take the checkered flag here in the 2nd MX2 race. Ahead of Jordan Joe, just edging out Jake Sheridan there for 2nd and 3rd. So we're catching up with James Doyle here for round 2. James, you've been putting in strong performances today, finishing up the top 8 in that 2nd race. How are you feeling overall?
Yeah, good. It's good and nice to be able to run the whole race, at top speed for once. It's been struggling with that, getting arm pump and stuff after a few laps, but been concentrating on getting the starts, and that's been going decently. I got out of the race there, or the first race, got out at the top 4, and then this one I think it was inside top 10, so that was nice. And 2.8, so yeah, it's alright.
Yeah, no, and you're saying there the last day in Vernon Mount that you're having some trouble with your shoulder strength and things like that, but it doesn't seem to be an issue today, carrying on good strong speed towards the end of the race.
Yeah, we kind of figured out what the problem was. I was running the suspension too stiff down in Vernon Mount, and then that was causing just a shock to come through my shoulder. So we're trying to get away. It's a fine line between running it soft enough that it doesn't hurt me, and then not bottoming out on the takeoffs and the landing. So it's okay.
Yeah, that's very interesting part of the sport is the suspension setup. I see a lot of guys adjusting clickers throughout the day here. It's something that you're looking into as well to try and get the most out yourself.
Yeah. So in the last race we're going to speed up the rebound 2 clicks or so in the back, and because it's skipping a little bit up the hills, and it's kind of like a whoop section, so we're going to speed that up, so hopefully get a bit more traction and get a bit more drive.
And we're into the race 3 of the day now in MX2 coming up, so where would you like to be at the end of race 3? Where would you like to see yourself?
Safe. No, we're looking just to another strong race, get out top 10 would be nice. That was the goal for a championship, so if we can do that again, then I'll be happy with that.
Excellent. Well, the very best of luck with it, James. You're doing well so far, and I'm sure you keep it on 2 wheels in the last one now today as well. Thanks for talking to us.
Cheers, thanks very much.
And a big thanks to Doyle Harvesting Limited then in helping James Doyle get to all the races in this 2019 season.
And that's it for part 2 of our round 2 National Irish Motocross Championship review. I hope you've enjoyed today's racing, and we'll be catching up with part 3 again tomorrow evening to finish out the last 2 races of the day and have some final interviews. If you've been enjoying our videos, you can watch them back on our B4MX YouTube channel, and if you'd like to show us some support, please do so now by placing an ad on the B4MX.com classified ads website with the promo code B4MX 2019. Catch you tomorrow.